Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! It's shirt show! Just talking shirt! It's shirt show! Talking shirt! It's shirt show! Talking shirt, man!
Alright! Episode 198 of Shirt Show! We're talking with Daniel, Grant, and Ian from DGI Apparel in California! Let's go!
Yo,
What's up, baby girl?
what's up, man?
Missed you.
Thanks. Missed you too.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. I just hung out with the kids.
You saw a movie.
I did. It was not. The kids were like, "Why are we seeing this?" I went and saw Kung Fu Panda 4.
And how old are your kids? 4 years old? 5 years old?
11 and 13. It was actually pretty funny. I don't know. I was just looking for something to do with them on Sunday. I didn't really have anything planned. And I was like, you guys want to go fucking eat snacks and have popcorn and watch a movie? And they were like, yeah, sure. So I have a unlimited pass, so I can go whenever for free. Well, not for free, but for a monthly, I can go unlimited. Right. So I was like, fuck it, let's just go to the movies. Like sometimes you just got to be entertained. Like try new things.
Are you the dad that goes to CVS or Target or whatever first to get snacks and candy and then sneak them in, or do you buy it at the theater? I'm
a big baller now. I don't worry about it. Just like, no joke. This is going to sound so shitty. This is going to sound like you. I probably spent like $80 in concessions.
In concessions alone?
Mm-hmm.
Ouch. No, you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, is it one of those that have like a restaurant or something?
Not a restaurant, but like they have food. Like we got up, we slept in. So the movie was at like 1:40. So by the time we got there, we were all hungry. So like it was me, my son, my daughter, and her friend. And I got like two of these. I got 2 iced teas and 2 hot dogs. And my son got like, a large popcorn and a drink and a pretzel. And my daughter and her friend each got basically the same thing. So by the time you get going, it's like $80.
Damn.
For like $3 worth of food.
Right. That's wild. Yeah. I guess sometimes like, there's the theaters where you can get beer and wine and stuff like that. And you can even get like fancy food brought to you. There's like, those sort of. They
brought the pretzels to us. So, we felt fancy, but,
yeah. Well, it sounds
whatever.
fun.
It's whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah.
I had a fun time with my kids and that's all that matters.
You gotta sell a few shirts. That's all.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my weekend was incredibly boring then probably compared to yours, although I did meet Logo Daddy. So I met John and Jules. We met up at Ola. It's this Mexican restaurant kind of in between, they're like an hour away roughly, I guess. And so we kind of met in the middle and we got like a couple pitchers of
margaritas, chips and guac.
No guac. I wanted to, but I was the only one, and they bring out this massive thing and I couldn't do it all myself. And so chips and salsa though. Yes. Did a little of that.
That's the whole reason to go to a Mexican restaurant is to just get unlimited chips and salsa.
And then don't order anything.
Yeah. And then order like 2 tacos and you're good.
Yeah. Saturday we went on a pretty long hike and we set a personal record on how fast we went, like our miles, like we were moving along.
Are you one of those people that fucking speed walks now? Like your arms are pumping so hard and you're like torso just stays straight.
I want to say you might have been on this walk with us. Did you go to, you went to,
I've been on a walk with you. I don't remember what it was called. It was like up through the trees and there was like a pond on the right at one point.
Yeah, that's what we did. And we did that one.
Okay.
So, ever since I'm faster and faster, I'm just getting faster and faster, with this recovery. And so we were moving along and we weren't like trying to go crazy fast or anything, but it was just a little bit chilly. I would say it was probably like 60 even, but it would have been great but it was a little windy, you know, and so then it makes it kind of chillier.
I'm a solid 3 miles an hour. Like I'm just a normal chill walker. I'm not trying to power.
That's probably what, because it
I
took
also
us
have short
about,
legs.
no, that's three. We were doing right around 20-minute miles. So that would make it 3 miles an hour. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's only this hike was 4 miles. But it was nice. It's really great just to be out, you know, and a little bit of sun shining and
Mm-hmm.
moving around. I think, I mean, you know, nobody likes that cold ass winter, although it's pretty cold today. I don't know what happened. Fell out.
Cold ass. No one likes
Nobody
the
likes
cold
cold.
ass.
Nobody likes cold ass.
Mm-hmm.
That's about it. The shop we've got stuff. We're printing shirts. So presses are spinning. Feels good.
Yeah. Schedule's been pretty good. A little bit of work overhaul happening. All that's well. I think I'm going to, we kind of talked about this real quick. I think I might take a social media break.
Ah,
It's needed.
so what does that mean to you? That means you're going to, you know, your screen time's going to be, you know, lower, or you're just like going cold turkey?
No, I'm going to, I don't know. Well, I need to stop being on my phone as much. I need to stop scrolling. I need to stop just looking at stupid shit all day. Because the problem is I'm addicted to it, and I'm realizing the problem, and I'm really trying to just like lay off of it some.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I get off the personal and I only do business, which I have somebody who runs like the business ones for now, but I think if I only hop on to see shop stuff and not like personal, just bullshit doom scrolling, then I think I'll be good. But I just want to focus on other things.
I feel that.
I don't want to have 8 hours a day of phone time.
We talked about this. I can't remember. It's been a couple of months, and I brought up a dumb phone, you know, the idea of getting a dumb phone. And I guess that you could do that with a smartphone. So you could take your iPhone and just delete some apps, and then it would become dumber. But also, like mine, I set out to lower my screen time. I want my screen time report when it gives you that report every week and it says, hey, your screen time, I want it to say it's down. Like, hey, your screen time is down. That feels good.
Sure. Yeah.
You know, as long as I'm in the downward trajectory.
Yeah. Me and Christina talked about it a lot, and it was just one of those things where it's just like, think of all the extra time that I can. Well, this is a small example. Was the other night we were watching TV, and while I was watching the show, I had my laptop on my lap, and I was like doing work stuff, which I don't normally do a lot, like in bed watching TV, like on my laptop. And I got like so much shit done for a project that I've been wanting to do. And I didn't pick up my phone the entire time. And I was like, look at the amount of shit I got done.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then just some other things come into play, life stuff, whatever. And I was just like, you know what? I don't fucking need this. Like, what I'm going to miss though is I am a saver person where like if I see something inspiring from like another shop or another profession or something that inspires me to do something, like create, or, you know, an idea pops up or something like a life hack or whatever, like I'm going to miss that stuff. So I'm kind of worried that like I'm going to miss out on some things. I'm going to have some FOMO with that. But I think in general, it's just going to be way better. Like I'm going to focus on more things.
Well, I think that I've found that moderation is where it's at. And so it doesn't always have to be all or none. I think that if you find a spot where, you know, you're just on your phone, on your social apps, I guess is what you're talking about.
Yeah.
If you're on them just a lot less, I would start there, and you would.
That's what I'm saying. I think
better.
if I get rid of the personal aspect of it, like just the bullshit stuff that's catered to my personal, and I just do what I'm interested in, which is like the screen printing, like go back to the Upstate Merch Instagram and be like, this is all the shops, this is all the artists and creatives that I like to look at. Like just peep on that maybe for an hour or so a day.
Mm-hmm.
But get away from the like Instagram catering to like, we think you like this, and just pumping me full of bullshit.
Yeah, turn off my suggested posts. You can, what is it, like pause them for 30 days or whatever, you know, and then those days are up and then all of a sudden they're in there again and you forget that, you know, you can turn them off again.
The problem
whatever,
is this is a dumb example, but it's like you fucking go to the bathroom and take a shit and you sit on your phone and then you realize you've been sitting there for like 45 minutes because I'm like in the reel, like you click a reel, you watch it and then it goes to the next one, then it goes to the next one, then it goes to the next one. And you're like, I've been doing nothing. Like I literally just wasted 45 minutes of my life.
Yeah, I would super fire you. Like if you were here working and
I didn't mean at work. I meant like at home.
Because
but I do own the fucking place. I could do that if I wanted to. I could shit on the floor in the middle of the living room.
Yeah, you should do that. See how that
goes. Yeah, I will later.
All right. Give me a video of that one. That's the kind of social media. I'm going to start focusing on that stuff. It all starts with a screen, and whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best. To find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com. You almost missed one.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
Cleaning screens is no fun, but Easyway makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier. Check them out at easyway.com. Easyway.
It's the easiest way, baby.
Hell yeah, baby.
Okay.
GraphX is the source for production-ready digital art and remote art staffing. Go to graphxsource.com to learn more about what they offer and let them run your art department so you can focus on running your
taco truck. What was this?
Like legs.
Running your legs?
Yeah.
Never in a million years would have guessed legs.
Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromaline. Go to chromaline.com to watch Kev's vids or contact him on Instagram at the emotion
guru,
and get the answers you need.
Can you imagine if Kevin was a therapist on the side and he had an Instagram called the Emotion Guru?
I think he could be a therapist, honestly.
He could be.
Yeah. I want to be that kind of guy.
Or I can just call you for emotion talks.
No, emulsion or emotion. I want both. There was this place when I was printing out of the garage. We lived on this dead end. And right up at the corner, sort of a busy street, there was another house. Like, you know, the businesses that are out of houses. There was this house because it was probably there a really long time. And then it got busy there. And they said, oh, well, you know, I don't want to live here, but I can have my business here. It's lots of exposure, lots of traffic. And on the outside, like the sign said that they changed tires, like they worked on tires and also family counseling. Like they do both.
This is going to be totally random, but it's relevant to me. Were you done with that story? Or was that just
the that's it. So you could go get
two things?
You could go get your tires changed and then talk about, you know, your fam.
And that works though, because you can drop the car off and then you have an hour to talk about your family while you're there getting it done.
Yeah.
Have you, I'm sure you have ever seen the movie Sicario?
Yeah. A long time ago.
When it's like all about the cartel and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The funny thing is I started rewatching it last night and I got to thinking, like, there's the very first scene in the movie is Emily Blunt goes to this house and they're raiding it basically. Like they're supposed to be the cartel is supposed to have hostages, and it's in Arizona. Like this is where it's in America that is taking place. And the truck backs into the front of the house. They come out and they say, you know, freeze, blah, blah, blah. They end up like killing all the dudes in the house because they're like shooting back. But the scary part about the beginning of that movie is it's just like a regular development house. And what the cartel was doing is they were killing all these people and they were putting them in between each stud in the house and then re-sheetrocking the house. So the house was full of like 50 bodies.
I don't remember this part.
Yeah. So what happens is she busts through the door and there's a dude and she says like, you know, freeze or whatever. And he shoots a shotgun at her, misses her, like just misses her head and it blows a hole in the wall. Well, they end up looking in the hole in the wall and there's like a body in the wall with like a plastic bag over its head. And then they rip the sheetrock off and the whole house, like literally all the walls in the house are full of dead bodies. And I was like, just like what got me thinking, this is a super long story, but it got me thinking of just like, imagine buying a house in Arizona and you're just like, oh, got this house for cheap. And you realize the fucking walls are lined with dead bodies.
Yeah, that wouldn't be good. Joanne would hate that.
You would, you would need that tire and family counselor person.
Yeah, you would. There's some trauma there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So look, if you are not using DTF or screen print transfers in your shop, you're doing it all wrong. We have partnered with Howard Custom Transfers to get you the transfers you need fast. Check them out at howardct.com.
.nasty.
Com is the right answer.
I want to do it upstatemerch.nasty.
Which we determined, I think it was last week, that .com stands for comma. So comma.
.comma.
Basically, you could just use
period,
that
comma.
You could just go dot and then a comma, probably.
I'm just going to start saying period instead.
www.
period upstatemerch period com.
No, you could say www. upstatemerch period comma.
Exactly. Decipher that.
Not confusing. S&S has been our go-to since day one. They have 8 distribution centers, which allows them to ship to 41 states in one day. Get yourself an inside or outside rep or both at ssactivewear.com. What do you think of that?
Nice. You did good.
Thank
They're
you.
the best.
Thank you.
Which ties in a little bit to our discussion today.
Very, very important episode. I hope you talked to your boy who buys the shirts. I can't remember. Is it Chris?
Chris, yeah. I was out all morning. So I said,
you should freeze just like that. Go back to where you were, because your glasses had the reflection of your laptop, I think, perfectly where your eyeballs are. And it looks like you're a robot, like you're a fucking robot, like with this computers.
Can you see it right now?
Yeah, like I can see your screen in your eyes. Here, don't move. I'm going to take a picture.
I don't want you to see my screen because there's all kinds of...
No, I can't
there's
see
nudity everywhere.
Here, hold on.
I look like a murderer.
Yeah.
I don't like that at all. Well, who do we got today, bud?
Today, we are talking to DGI Apparel, which is an acronym for Daniel, Grant, and Ian. They have created some pretty neat software, and today we're going to learn more about it. Right?
Look at that timing.
Now.
You did good.
Hey, guys.
What's up, boys?
Hey, here's okay.
Yeah, we can. Did you draw that on the board all by yourself?
Oh, we did. It was left hand though, so we get extra points for style.
I think you guys need to stick with like coding things. So you're doing a better job. How's it going?
It's good. Yeah. Where are you guys calling from? I know Andy's in Missouri, right?
Yep, St. Louis, Missouri.
I'm in upstate New York.
Oh, what part?
Do you know where Syracuse is?
Yeah, my little brother goes to school there.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm like 45 minutes from there.
So
This is the easiest landmark for me to give people because they're like, oh, I know where Syracuse is. Or Cornell University.
Yeah.
I'm like in between the two.
nice.
So you guys have this program that I learned about from Matt Marcotte. I think he met one of you at the trade show or something, or were you at the, what was it, the DTF thing? Was that what you guys were at?
Yeah. We're at the DTF Expo, and I actually met Matt or heard about Matt like a couple weeks before that. We have like when you sign up and make an account, just like the referral, how did you hear about us field? And I started seeing like Matt Marcotte, Matt from Printavo, like my Printavo rep. And I was like, who is this guy? And I was calling around trying to figure out who was telling people about us. Cause up until Matt, I think anyone that signed up to use the website, I had like called personally or like met them personally. And so I was like, someone actually knows about us and is advocating for us. But
yeah.
So that's how we met Matt. And then, yeah, I got to know him like actually in person down at a Phoenix Expo.
Do you guys, I know when Dylan said, you've got this program you did something with, you all looked at us like deer in headlights. So what do you call it? Because it's not called the program, is it? It's called something else. What do like developers call it?
Like a web application, a website.
I wanted so bad for him to say program. I was gonna be like, fuck you, Andy. See, it's a program.
So we don't know anything about you. We know a little bit. We've been using your web app. Is that what we called it?
It's a website. Yeah.
Yeah, the site. Yeah.
The site. Okay. Yeah. We've been using the site here for a little bit. If you could give us a little background and kind of introduce yourselves so we know where you come from.
So I'm Daniel. I'm the D in DGI. I'm from the Bronx in New York. I went to school at MIT where I met these guys, majored in computer science and minored in literature. Yeah, I mean, that's it for me.
Where'd you work before DGI?
I worked at a startup that I did not found, but I was doing like AI health tech, for hospitals.
Was that something that you wanted to get into, or you just kind of were there as a job?
Right. Yeah. So in all honesty, I never wanted to be a software engineer.
We never wanted to be screen printers either. It's just fucking happened. So
right, but I'm assuming you love it, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So I don't love software.
And then he pans out. He gets out of frame. He's just gone.
But I do like solving user problems, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
So your role then would be less of a coder, I guess, and more of a
Yeah, I code all day. Yeah. Right after this. Yeah.
It's exactly what he does.
Yeah, it's exactly what I do. But again, I like solving user problems.
The coding is like a tool to do so, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. You got to leverage the skills that you have. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Next.
Yeah, I'm Grant. I'm originally from Iowa. Met these guys my freshman year at MIT. I've been writing code for like 8-9 years now. I actually do enjoy writing software and playing around with software. And yeah, I spend most of my day writing code.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And then, I'm Ian. So from Wake Forest, North Carolina. And I was a screen printer in high school. So my teacher in 8th grade, my social studies teacher, I guess once I got to high school, he left teaching and I kind of fell out of contact with him and he bought the small business. And I was running like the student section for the football games at my high school. And we had to do an order of shirts. And I went in and I was like, oh my God, Mr. Moriarty, like, what are you doing here? He's like, I own this now. This is my baby. And then I needed a summer job. So I went back the next day and I was like, hey, can I do anything for you? Like, I just want to work. So I was thinking, I think like $8 an hour, something like that, high school kid wage.
That wasn't the wage. He was just paying you that.
Yeah. I might have been under the table, but we'll cut that out of the podcast.
He's like, I'll let you work for $8 an hour. Minimum's like 16.
Yeah, but now give me a little spending money. And then, I did the classic, like you start out cleaning screens. And there was like an older guy that worked there that he like just stayed on after my boss bought the place. And he was like, little like generational hate where he's like, you millennials are so lazy. You never do any good work. So I was like, I'm going to clean the hell out of these screens. Mm. So I was, he said like I did a good job at the end, but so I did that. And then you move up to like actually heat pressing vinyl on, and then you can actually like start pushing some ink and then loading the shirts. And then, finally, I was doing like purchasing out in the front office, and that's kind of how I came across this problem. And honestly, at the time, I didn't think there was any way to solve it. Like it's just kind of how you ordered shirts or ordered your blanks. And then went on to MIT, met these guys. We lived in like the same fraternity together, so we got in a responsible amount of tomfoolery on the weekends. And then worked for like a year or so, and then we just all happened to kind of end up in New York. And we were looking for a problem to solve, wanted to kind of do our own thing. We were sick of, the corporate life, or at least the job we were at. And I called my old boss and I was like, hey, I remember we had this problem. Do you think this would be an actual solution for it? And he's like, yeah, definitely. So he connected me to a few more shops, and then we put out a really, really rough version of it and just kind of kept making it better from there.
Well, I know you're in California now. You're in Silicon Valley. So is this like Social Network and Justin Timberlake told you to move out there and get a house? Like you had to go to
It wasn't
California?
Like, I think it was Matthew McConaughey this time.
Yeah, we'll make sure that when they do the documentary of DGI, that Andy Justin Timberlake plays you for sure. So.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that.
Yeah, so we're in this thing called Y Combinator, which I don't know, it's like pretty foreign to, I feel like most people in our industry, but it's like the startup accelerator. And the whole moniker of it, and it started in like 2005, is to just make something people want, like solve a problem in the world.
Right.
And the idea is like, yeah, get the smartest people to come to this accelerator. We'll teach them how to like, understand user problems and build really quickly. So there's actually been some like huge companies that have come out of it. So there's like, Airbnb and Stripe and Instacart that like have made really cool products. And then there's like thousands of other companies in much smaller niche industries that have just gone on to solve cool problems. So that's kind of the program we're in right now in the Bay.
Well, what I want to ask is like in the beginning when you were doing school and you were obviously out of printing and all that, like, why did you think of this? Like, why was this the thing that stuck in your mind that you guys should work on together?
Honestly, I think I tried like a bunch of, I feel like a lot of people in the industry are kind of scrappy and entrepreneurial. So I was like, oh, I'm going to put up billboards around town and make passive income that way. And it turns out you need like a permit to put up billboards. So those got taken down. And then I did like a drive-in movie theater over COVID and tried like a bunch of other little business ideas. And I was kind of looking for the next thing I wanted to work on. I had a job at the time. And this just kind of seemed like a logical problem to solve. And we thought it was very small. I knew it was something that annoyed us. And as we started pulling on the thread a little bit more and learning more about the industry and what everyone was doing, we saw that it was like a much bigger problem that everyone else in the industry had. And that's kind of why we got excited about it, I think.
So actually, we keep referring to the problem. What would you describe that problem as?
Yeah, I guess the problem would be you have all these different vendors you can order from. You have your custom pricing tier from these vendors, and you need to make a decision who you're going to buy from to fulfill a customer's order when they come in your shop or they order through your order my gear site or something like that. And you just check all the different ones. They're all separated out. They all exist independently of each other on different websites, and you got to remember to check them all. Like I would, an order would come in and then I would write down on a notepad the price for vendor A and then vendor B and then vendor C. And okay, here's the cheapest one. I remember to actually submit at the end of the day, and your carts were all in different spots. So you're like, oh, did I hit $200 with, Carolina made yet? Oh, no, not yet. Let me move some stuff over. So that was the problem we wanted to solve initially, is just a centralized way to do all your ordering in a much quicker way.
And the thing behind that though, too, is it's like, me and Andy were just saying how we have like our preferred vendor, which is like SNS. And the truth of it is like my ordering person might not take the time to go through and be like, I need a Bella 3001 or whatever. He's just going to order it from SNS. Like he's not going to look at the price. He's not going to whatever. He's just going to be like, I need black. I need 200 pieces. He's just going to order it. But the truth of it is like me as an owner, I'm looking at it as dollars and cents. He's looking at it as I did my duties. I ordered the shirts. You know what I'm saying? Like now he can look at your site and be like, okay, I can order a 3001, but it's no difference to me. It's quick to just be like, oh, well, I see, say Broder's price is $495 and SNS's price is $483. And it's like, oh, obviously, let's just order them from SNS then.
Yeah.
Instead of getting it from Broder or whatever. So that's huge for us as an owner to be like, cool. Well, you don't realize oh, it's, here and there, it might only be 3, 4, 5, 6 cents or whatever. But when you're ordering 800 shirts, 1,000 shirts for just that one order, 5 cents adds up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think that in addition to that, it's inventory too. So you're looking through at your fingertips, you have different tabs and you can say, oh, well, SNS doesn't have mediums here. Then you just tab over and see that somebody else does. I think that's going to save all kinds of time, which is even more valuable in some cases, than saving 6 cents on 50 shirts or whatever, because we are figuring, so a lot of people have free shipping no matter what. With SNS, it doesn't matter if we order 1 or 50, but our break even on a 3001 at $4 each to get free ship off of Broders, 51 shirts. So you order 51 shirts, you get free shipping. And I think that now, like, you'll be able to, like you just said, move some stuff around. And so like if you only need 5 mediums and Broder has it, well, you're going to have to move some over there to get some free shipping. It's just really easy to do, all in the same screen. And I have all kinds of questions because when we were testing it, one of the things you do is, you put these things in your cart, you go to check out, and you can check out on your side at DGI, or you can check out at the vendor. So what's the advantage of checking out at DGI? Doesn't any like money pass through you guys? And is it as reliable? Because in my head, I'm like, man, this has to like work. When I go to like, I'm fine looking at prices, I'm fine carding things. So when I go to check out, I almost prefer to go to the vendor, and just check out on their site, because I can choose shipping options, which you can on your site too. But like I can choose shipping options, and I don't know, it just feels, that's what we've done. That's what we always do. And so what's the difference?
It's your security blanket to know like I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess, Grant, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, no, so it's like exactly as if you were checking out on their website. So like none of that actually goes through us. Like we are actually just like basically like doing the exact same thing you would go through. Like when you see shipping details, it's like the exact same screen you would get on your vendor, all of the shipping options, etc. When you click through, it's as if you clicked like next page, basically. And then like when you check out, it's like as if you click the checkout button. So it's exactly as if you checked out on their website. But for a lot of the new vendors we're adding, the checkout is like a little difficult to maintain. So we're looking to just have you check out like on the vendor site initially. And if they want a more complete checkout experience to save some time on the website, we can do that.
Okay.
Yeah, you can think of it as like we're like a surrogate almost. So it's like you have like your own little personal assistant who goes out and does the job of going to that website and checking out for you. But it's just in the form of the code we've written that can handle that.
Is that basically what like a booking.com or Kayak is doing? Are they handling the money, or does the hotel do they do the transaction? Like who handles the transaction?
Typically, I think now that those companies are a little more mature, like Booking and Kayak, they do handle some payments because they can like, wager themselves a little bit more strongly against those like hotel chains. But typically how it works is like, yeah, they don't touch the money at all. And then they can get like some kind of referral or something from the supplier is how it usually works.
So that was my next question. And you guys can get in, it's your business. I don't want to fucking poke around, but just for the sake of asking the question, like, I know you want to do good in the world and make a thing that's going to help people, but like, what do you guys get out of this? Like, what's the end goal? Is that it, to get a kickback from the suppliers, or get them to kind of compete a little bit more and be like, well, we want to be the best on the DGI site. So, let's do, like, what's the business model here?
Yeah. So, I mean, right now we don't make a lot of money. Part of being in this program is we get some investment capital. So like that can pay our rent for a year or so, maybe. One thing we looked at is like ads. People are going there to shop. If you're a brand and you want to promote like a new line coming out, you can pay to advertise. We just want to do it in a way that doesn't clutter the shopping page, which is kind of, we haven't done it yet. And then the other one is when we add new distributors now, we set up like a contract where they just pay a flat monthly fee. So there's no kickbacks based on volume or anything.
So they get to pay to just be available on the site.
Yeah, exactly. And just the way they've been thinking about it is, one, like if they want to go out and get new accounts, like you guys may be hesitant to sign up for a new vendor, even though they're close to you, because you're like, it's already enough to deal with these 4 or 5 websites. And now, it doesn't hurt that much to have a new vendor on DGI. It's not that much worse. So I think it makes it easier for them to get new accounts and get in front of people.
Yeah. And I think the truth of it is like I said, like I saw Matt talking about it, and that there's a million apps for a million different things. And all these people try to use all this AI and shortening and all this other stuff. But the truth of it is I saw your thing, and it's a problem. You did it. You ordered for another company, and whatever it's a huge pain in the ass to do ordering and seeing all these sites and all this other stuff. So the tool itself is amazing. Like, and I think with me and Andy on the show, like we want to, if the tool works and the tool is awesome, we want to be able to tell as many printers about it as possible and be like, hey, like this thing fucking works. And the part that kind of skeeves us out, and I think that's kind of where Andy was like, I still like checking out on SNS's site, is because it's like, well, what are these dudes doing? They built this site and it's free to use. You just have to sign up. and we're like, okay, well, where, like,
What's the catch?
What's the catch? Where are they
So,
using my credit card? What are they buying? What are they doing?
And like to piggyback on that, I think I guess there's a few hesitations. One, is it your goal to always have this free to shop? So like it will just always be free for like perpetuity. It's always free. That's my question.
Yeah, the features that you see today, so like connecting vendors and shopping, we want to keep that free forever, and we'll keep building features for that. I think people have asked us for integrations with like their QuickBooks or Printavo or something like that. And in those cases where we have to build a new API integration and maintain it, we may charge, monthly for like the premium version where the invoices come straight.
And I think that makes total sense. Like if you can just use the site as intended, but then if you want the extra features to do whatever, then yeah, fucking charge for that. Like I have no problem with that at all. And I think just using it and testing it out, we've only used it for like maybe a week and a half now. And I was going to talk to my purchasing guy before I got on this, but he was out, so I didn't get a chance to. But just from me playing around with it and testing it, I think it's an awesome tool. And I just wanted to see, like I said, it gives people a peace of mind to know that this is where you're headed. This is what your plan is. This isn't just like we made something and we're going to find out later, like we all have some virus on our computer.
So that I can feel safe. I have a couple more questions if you can help. This is my first one would be when we're connecting our account, we're giving you I don't know if we're giving you, it just may be going to this secure, offsite third party, but we're giving you our login info. And so you have somebody has our login info. I don't know how that works. Can you explain that for a minute?
Yeah, definitely. So when you put in your login information, that's then encrypted like in transit, so like while it's actually being transmitted, and then it's encrypted at rest in this AWS basically like key management service. So it's like encrypted there. It's basically a black box to us. And then when you log in, like it's assigned with like your identity on the DGI site. It's like when you create a DGI account, like those login credentials in the black box are then tied to you as a person when you log in. And it allows us to sort of like bring in all of your custom pricing, et cetera.
These are questions I'm sure you're going to get. You probably already have had, like, hey, this is my login info. Are you guys going to go log in and buy a bunch of shit, under my account? So another one would be collecting data. So, we go on there and we use it for a year. We have all these transactions. Do you have some data that you get to keep? And if so, how can you use it to help us or yourselves or the industry? I mean, will you have this data?
Yeah, I mean, so we do have some data in terms of, what you're buying on the site and like what people are searching for, what they're adding to the cart. And really it's just to help us try to make the product better at this point. We haven't really thought big picture of what we can do with the information because it's just, if this was an easy product to build, it would have existed by now because I think everyone's kind of familiar with this issue. So we just use it to like, okay, people are searching for heathered sweatshirt a lot and it's not showing the thing that they want. So we need to figure out how to make that work. Or like, this has been really popular on the website. Like, let's put that higher up in the results so people just see it immediately when they get to the site or something like that.
And I think the data from another company always has this like scary attachment to it. But I think in this case, or in a lot of cases too, like it could be super helpful. Like you're saying, you could bring things up, but it's also who else has all the data from all these sites to maybe other than like a Printavo or something of like, what is the most popular buy? Like what is the most popular, say, crew neck t-shirt and heather gray or something, like which one is the go-to? And then you could use that information to be like, do we bring this up or do we bring this up to the industry that this is the best one and so on. I just think that there's a lot behind that. And I think with our questions is more, I think it's a cool tool. And I think if we can just get this stuff aired out, then a lot of more people are going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, I feel super comfortable like using this product.
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal and why we thought it'd be good to go on. I think the other thing too, and maybe Grant was about to say is like your order history, like we could do a combined history of like stuff you've ordered on DGI, and you can get some analytics of like, you're spending a lot more at this time of the year, or like, start looking for deals from this supplier at this time of the year, or something like that. We don't know really, because we'd have to sit down and think about it more, but.
The only thing we've done right now is just the popularity based rankings. So like our search when we launched was like horrible. Like we had the catalogs and stuff, but like you had to basically know like the exact style number to actually find anything. We were like, dang, this is horrible. But now that we have some people using the site, we actually see like what people are searching for and then like the most popular items. So we have like a very rudimentary popularity based search ranking right now, which has helped a lot with trying to find things. Like if you search for just like gray sweater or like black hat, like things like this, you can actually find decent results based on what the most popular items are at any given time.
Yeah. And I think for the most part, like in our case, I mean, other shops are different, or I guess if you're just blindly searching for a specific color tee, like we're having the invoices right in front of us to order from. So even at SNS and stuff, we're typing in the item number. You know what I mean? Like, I know it's nice to have the popular items there, but if I go on to order, I'm like, no, I know exactly. I'm looking for like a Gillenhammer tee. I'm doing like H000. Like I'm just typing it in, want it to come up, whatever. Andy, do you have any more questions with certain things? Because I kind of want to ask them something.
I have other questions, but I'm feeling way safer now. Yeah, so
okay, good.
We can move on.
I don't want to put you guys on the spot or anything, but we were wondering before this came up, is there any way for you guys to like do a quick run through? Like we share a screen and like show how the site works, just so people can see how it works?
Yeah, give me just a second here while I pull it up. But yeah, I'm happy to. Let's see if I can go through a full demo with all these like boxes from Zoom sitting on my screen. But yeah, so this is like just kind of the vendor connection page. So you'll make an account on DGI, and that takes 60 seconds.
I can't remember. What is it asking you for when you make an account? It's just basic information, right?
It's like, yeah, your shop name, email, phone number, your address, and then like your popular vendors. And like, these are the ones we support now, but we just kind of use that to figure out who to prioritize next, like who are people asking for. But yeah, and that's really quick. And then the biggest thing we need is like your address, because sometimes we use that for shipping time estimates if the vendor doesn't provide it already. But yeah, so you get here, you can connect your vendors. So you just enter like your username and password for each of them, hit connect, and then you can just start shopping really. And so like as soon as you go over here, you can see your carts over on this right side. So this is live look at what all your carts have. So you're like, oh, let's see here. It looks like I hit the threshold for Carolina made, ACC. Maybe I could combine these three together and that'll get me closer to free shipping or something.
Right.
And then, yeah, so these are popular items. Go ahead.
Well, for the people listening, it's, you go to the site, you log in, and then what's coming up right now for results these are the popular ones. I'm guessing.
Yeah, these are just based on popularity.
Okay, so in the middle is the popular, but what it is it's showing like, say, a Bella 3001, and on the right it shows SNS, Carolina made, Broder, and then whatever the other one. I can't read it from here, but it's showing you the pricing for each, basically, which is what struck me first to be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then what's coming up now is this tabs for each to where you could order from each one directly from here.
Yep. Yeah. Or at least add to your cart. So, the next thing you're thinking of is like, okay, the vendor has it. They have the color I want. Do they have enough inventory to like support this order? So you can see live inventory from every warehouse, from every vendor. And you can just tab through right here. The warehouses should be sorted by estimated delivery date. So you'll see the closest one on top, and we like try to highlight it there to make it easy to see. And then, yeah, you can just add stuff to your cart. So let's say I wanted to put like, a couple XLs and 2Xs and 3Xs or something in my SNS cart. And then this takes a second because it's actually synced up with your real account with that vendor.
So this is something I haven't tried yet, but if I was to leave this site and go to SNS, would it show the items you just added in the SNS cart?
Yep, exactly. So all this information is like in your actual cart there.
So that's what Andy was talking about when he said he goes to SNS and checks out. Correct, Andy? Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Right. They could probably demo it. So
yep. Yeah. So the next step in the flow is like, all right, I've added all my stuff to my cart. And then you need to kind of go through and like check all your carts and see what's in there. So these are sorted by subtotal. And what you can do is you can just hit refresh carts here, and that's going to do like another check. So let's say someone in like the back office has been adding stuff on a different account. you can hit refresh carts, and that's going to make sure this is all up to date with like what's actually going on with your accounts. But yeah, and then you can just go here. Here's my SNS total. And then you can just click or view here, and that'll take you straight to the cart page, or you can check out on DGI.
That's awesome. I love how like, and I don't mean to like make this sound bad, but it's like, I love how simple it is. Like, I love how it's not like a page littered with a bunch of random shit you don't need. Like, it's literally just as soon as you log in, it's like, let me know what ones you want, basically. And then it's just like the carts, like the where I can order from each distributor. Like,
Yeah, and I think
it's
what
so good.
one of the things Christina pointed out, it looks the same from vendor to vendor. So like you're not going to different websites and then trying to figure out, like where the different locations are and everything. It's just it all looks the same. And so it makes you even faster, and I guess less mistakes are going to be made. So yeah, that's a neat part of it too.
Yeah, Daniel's kind of the product guy, so you have him to thank for like simplicity and layout of it.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thanks, Daniel. You did great.
We all work on like everything. I mean,
just take the credit, Dan. Jeez.
I can't.
You hate your job, so at least like this part of it.
No, I love my job. I just don't care about software, textbooks, and all that.
It's okay. We'll pump you up, Dan. Don't worry about it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I hope you like Dan, because you're Dan now instead of Daniel to me.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, they call me Shkreli, which is my last name.
I'll stick with Dan.
Dan is a nice change.
So again, we were talking about the simplicity of all this, and I mean, again, like it's great for just seeing. Like I said, to me, the best part is just looking right now and being like, oh, SNS is $415, Carolina Made's $439. What is it, AOC? I've never even used that distributor. I don't even know what
ACC,
it is.
Yeah, they're out of Virginia.
No, $439, and then Broder's $456. So right there, you're like, okay, I need like 500 3000 ones. It's like a no brainer to like where to get them ordered from.
Yeah, exactly. And we found that there's kind of like 5 things that people are looking for, where it's like, do they have the style that my customer wants? Do they have the color that my customer wants? Do they have the inventory to like fulfill that order? And then it's kind of coming down to shipping time and price that you're deciding once you knock out those 3. And like Daniel's done a good job of like, we need to tell the story in a certain order. Dan the man, tell the story in like a certain order, like to kind of match what you're looking for. And like, some people have asked if it could just auto add the cheapest one, but we find when people use the website and like we'll go in and do like a customer interview, that they oftentimes don't add the cheapest one to their cart because they're like worried about shipping time, or they already have something in their cart, so they're looking for free shipping. So we're trying to give you, I guess, the information to make that decision as quickly and easily as possible, because we don't really know what you're indexing on.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
That's the first time I've heard him call me Daniel in years. So.
There you go. You're welcome. The thing is too, is me and Andy have talked about this too, and you guys might not think about this because you're just kind of doing the number crunching and data part of it. Is there's more to it than, and I think that's why you wouldn't just go through and add every vendor possible. You know what I mean? Like, there are a lot of vendors out there or whatever. Say right here you have 4 options or 5 options, whatever it is. Like, even if I looked at this right now and I was like, okay, SNS is $415 and Broder is say $416, $417, I would still pick SNS because of the fact that, well, it's just the relationship with that vendor, but also like, I know there's going to be less mistakes when it comes to me. There's going to be less picking errors. There's going to be whatever. Like, I know you guys aren't accounting for that, but it's also nice if I have an issue with that order, I know that I can call my rep at whatever preferred vendor I have, and I know it's going to get taken care of. Like, I could look at that other one and be like, yeah, I could order it cheaper. And if that's the cost is your only goal, then that's one thing. But if I know it's worth spending an extra 2 cents on all these to have the peace of mind and know if there is an issue or whatever, I can call my rep and get it fixed immediately, then I might go that route. So I see what you're saying. Like, it is going to be a preferred vendor thing, but the price, like if there's a huge, like right here, just for an example, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus here, but like on this 3001 one, it's like, okay, SNS is $415 and then Carolina Made's $439. Like that's a big difference. That's where like I'm like, okay, that's an obvious choice to go with S&S. But if it's only a couple cents here and there, I would probably be more like apt to go with my preferred just family vendor kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think we mentioned it too, but like, so these would be your custom prices, and these are hooked up to like all sorts of accounts. Like I think a couple of them are just like demo accounts that people have given us. A couple are hooked up to like my boss's old account. So like when you log in, you'll probably see a totally different array of prices there.
Yeah. But that's the cool thing is you are logging in. It's not like just the basic, whatever. And it is too. I think me and Chris checked this where it was, it wasn't the retail or the base price. It was the sale price on the item.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we try to show both because I know sometimes people will price with their customers based off of this. Like,
yes, for sure.
But then this is just kind of like, think of it as like starting acts. It also like the 2XLs and stuff will be different prices anyway.
Right. It's the small through extra large price at the top.
Yep, exactly.
Dylan, do you see an instance where like you go on here and let's say, you want to purchase through S&S or your preferred, whatever your preferred vendor is, and your preferred vendor is 10 cents higher, and maybe it is that one of the other vendors is running a sale for the month of March or something.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see an instance where you just contact S&S or you contact your preferred vendor?
I was just going to say that, yeah.
And you're like, hey guys, by the way, we noticed that there's a sale going on at such and such company. Can you match that price or whatever it is? You know what I mean? Do you think that because like you guys said, it's our prices, whatever are programmed in there. And there are certain times of the year where we get certain program pricing for like a polo, let's say on a back to school situation. We do a lot of uniforms. And so we always get this program price in July and it lasts for 90 days or whatever it does. Don't you think do you see an instance where, you're going to contact your rep and say, why is my price slightly higher? Because, other places are running sales. And do you think they'll match that? Do you see that happening?
I do. I think there's two things here though. I think that it's awesome for the printer to have this at our fingertips to be able to quickly see the difference in price between things. I do think things change frequently with sales and whatnot, but if I did see a constant, say maybe over a couple of weeks, that the difference between S&S and Broder or whatever was pretty consistent, I think I would reach out to my rep and be like, hey, how do I get better pricing on this item? But I also see this tool as, and I think it's going to be scary as fuck for the vendors, the site, because now they're like, shit, if every printer gets this and can see that we're consistently higher than someone else, like it feels like nice for a change for us as printers to not be the race to the bottom, more that they have to, like, if price is going to be the determining factor, then it's kind of like, well, it's one of the need to compete.
Factors. It's one
right,
of them,
but that's
like
what I'm saying
earlier.
is like there's other factors to it, but it's, the biggest chunk of that pie in decision making is going to be price. Like I love S&S, but if they're consistently 25 cents more than everybody else, like I'm gonna be like, hey, like I have a business to run here too. Like, why are you so much higher than somebody else? Like they're gonna have to be competitive.
Yeah. And I mean, like, I would say for one thing is this information is already available to you. Like you could go to all the other websites and check them all. It's just faster for you to kind of see that difference with this tool.
But I'm just saying it's going to be more frequent if this gets used for people bringing up to their rep, like, hey, I'm seeing better pricing at another place.
I think
it's just convenience.
You're right. I think you're right that this is already available. However, we get in a groove. The person who orders our shirts, shipping and receiving manager, is also ordering shirts. And when she has a stack of orders, she just goes and orders it with our preferred vendor, and doesn't compare pricing. She just goes through the stack and gets.
She's looking at quantity and color and stock.
Yeah.
She's just ordering them unless there's a lot. If there's 500, then we're sending out for quotes or we're actually taking a harder look at it. But I think that this just gets us on an every single order every single line item really basis, it shows us the comparable pricing of what's going on. So have you had any pushback? Have you heard from any of these vendors? Have they called you up and say, hey guys, knock it off? Or like, have you ever had a conversation with any vendors yet?
So all of the regional vendors have asked to be added or are paying to be added. Couple of the bigger guys are like unsure about how to feel about it, I think. We still don't have a ton of shops that use it. So we haven't seen a ton of pushback really, but time will tell. I think our focus right now is we just want to make something that's good for the shops. And if like these vendors really care about their customers, like they'll find a way to make this work for the shops as well. But I do understand like you make switching costs a little bit lower. And sometimes that'll be good for them because you guys may be giving more business to another vendor now and they're going to be really excited about it. Sometimes maybe not quite so much. But
I'm just saying, think of it from our perspective, like try to be in their shoes a little bit, Andy, and say, I don't know. I know there's thousands and thousands of shops, but say there was like a top 20 shops and me and you were in those top 20 shops. And there was a site like this where every time I ordered t-shirts, which was very frequently, I could go on and be like, oh, this is the price of what it would be from Shirt Kong. And this is the price of what it'd be for Upstate Merch. Like, I personally feel like I was like, fuck, this sucks. I don't want to be on this website. Like,
yeah, I'm not worried about it because I know that if I'm more expensive, they're still coming here. If they're trying to compare me and you
think so?
I think that like the thing we pointed out earlier was that if pricing's close, as long as pricing's close, then you're going to go with your preferred vendor because like you said earlier, you have a relationship with them and they're pulling orders accurately. Right. And, you're just used to that thing. You're loyal to them. And you know that if something goes wrong, you pick up the phone and you call your outside rep or your inside rep, you say, hey, this went wrong, and they're going to help you. And so I just think that this is just a tool. We already have it available to us just by going to different tabs. We always keep all the vendor sites tabs open when we're ordering. It's just that we're not always checking prices, and we are always checking for inventory. This just makes it way faster. Yeah, and so this is going to save us time. Like this, using this is free to us, but it's going to make us and save us money. It's going to make us money in that, I guess it's going to save us money two ways. We're going to always be purchasing, not always, but most of the time be purchasing the least expensive shirt. And then also, the buyer who's on there, navigating through these sites is going to be faster. So she's going to get, that done quicker so she can move on to other things. She can check in an order, or she can help whatever she's doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a win-win. And I think it's a win. I honestly think it's a win for vendors. I don't see why there would be pushback. If I was a vendor, or if like you described, if there was a top 20 site for screen printers and then I was included in that, I don't care if you're comparing my pricing. I think that I'm losing some orders, but I'm also winning some orders. I think that it's
I do agree with that. Yes. But I do think that they're going to have to be, I don't know without looking, but the gap's going to have to close a little bit. Yeah. Like certain ones are going to be higher and they were comfortable just, being like, I'm whatever. But if they're on this list now, they're going to have to really evaluate and be like, how do we stay competitive with these other 5, 6, 10, whatever vendors?
Yeah. And there's different strategies you can play in that too. Like, for some of the smaller guys, like, this is a pretty set group of the most popular items on this first page. And so I'll tell them like, hey, pick one that you want to win, all the time. And people will remember.
Right. That's true.
And then just try to stay close on the other ones, like it should be a race to the bottom. And that's kind of how you stay relevant. And again, like, we're definitely never going to compare, say like, hey, shop A is getting these for this price from this vendor. And, Andy's got them this much cheaper. Go see if you can like negotiate that same tier. Like, we don't want to do that. We just want to make the data you have faster. So there's like some other things they can do. But I think ideally we built this to get the shop to order like the right shirt at the right price from the right vendor as fast as they can. So hopefully you're the right vendor.
I do want to say I'm very impressed with this guy so far. Like, for real. I know you were trying to think of a thing, but from what I've seen so far and what I've played with it, I'm very impressed that this exists and you guys did it the way that you did it. So Dan, thank you. You other guys, whatever. I don't know what you did in the company, but
actually, I'll take all the credit this time. So
there you go.
I just sit in the corner kind of drooling and every once in a while, wipe it off my face.
Exactly. It makes perfect sense.
Is that it for the demo? Is that it on the demo side of things?
Yeah, I actually do want your guys' feedback though, real quick on something. So we're thinking about in the next month or so building like a receiving module. So you can say like while you're shopping on DGI, like this is the invoice number that I'm shopping for, and then we'll build like another page so you can just check in. All right, this PO from this supplier is here. Now here's the invoices that were in it that are now like in my store and ready to print. Do you guys have any idea of like what that should look like, or like something we can reference? We're looking for like a little live feedback session.
Does it even work? You know?
Yeah, would it work for you?
Right.
I think so. I think it's something that I would refer specifically to my shipping receiving guy because they do things differently than I would do. I do think that's something that's lacking with some, I would say some clients that send us stuff or whatever is POs tend to suck. It would be nice to kind of streamline all the POs and kind of have them all look very similar. So if you did have a tool where it could be more frequently used, I think that would be pretty cool. I think that's something that if you did want to look into that, I would be open to just, we could email back and forth and feedback. I think right now though, like without anything in front of me, it would be hard to reference, but Andy, what do you think?
I think I'm understanding the question. So, I think it would make it easy in that, now let's say we have to fulfill an order from 3 different vendors or even 3, different locations. We have our work order and we're checking off as they arrive, so, hey, this order comes in and we can say, oh, this is here. But the mediums are still like 2 days out because they're coming from far away. I guess you're saying like within your software, I would know exactly where it's at. It's just all in one spot. And I am doing that within your software. So it's live. It's not on paper or anything. I don't know. Maybe, is that what you're asking?
Yeah. I mean, so we would build like, be in this drop down, there'd be another one called like receiving or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's say, you got your invoice from, one customer and they need 300 shirts and 200 hoodies. You would just tell us like maybe in like a drop down up here or something, like I'm shopping for invoice 1. Add it to your cart, and then you like submit the PO, and it could be bunched up with a bunch of invoices from other customers or like split up. And then we would just build another page where you could just say like, hey, this has arrived. And you would just kind of see all the customer invoices that arrive with those packages essentially. And you could have like a source of truth. I don't know. It was just kind of the next thing I'm thinking.
Yeah, I think it would be great. I think anything you can do to keep things streamlined like that is great. Cause like, I know like say Chris orders, 1,000 shirts and 700 of them are coming from SNS and 300 of them had to come from Broder because of stock issues. Mm-hmm. And maybe some had to come from Sanmar or something just to fulfill the order, especially back in COVID times. It was like, we were getting shit from everywhere. You know what I mean? It'd be nice to now go in and be like, all right, for PO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is what was ordered from each of the vendors through DGI. And then we would know, where they were coming from, what warehouse they were coming from, and we could check the quantities as they came in and be like, all right, we have everything. Because right now, I think he's printing off the invoice, then he's going to SNS, Samar, Broder, whatever, and printing off the slip from them, and then stapling it all together, and then going through and being like, oh, this is where this came from, and so on. So having it all in one place from where you ordered it from is nice because you're not just SNS, you're not just Sanmar, you're doing them all together at the same time.
Yeah. Again, great idea, Daniel. Excellent work.
Phenomenal.
Actually, I just wanted to say, if any of the listeners have feedback, Ian's email and number.
I thought that was funny too, is that when we signed up and got the emails, they were just all from Ian. He's like, hey, bud, what's up? Thanks for signing up.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you guys want to give feedback, Ian will take more emails. Send out.
That's actually his mobile number too. If you want to call him in chat, right there.
My cell phone number.
Send him all those pictures.
Right. And it could be on existing features or, future ones.
What do you guys? I know every company has this, but what's your goal? Like, do you have more features or more things that you haven't built yet that you want to add to this other than the receiving thing?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. We're always building. We're trying to make the site just better, faster. We have weekly meetings.
Can you let one of us make you a logo, please? For the love of God.
Please. Yes, we would love it.
Yeah, I mean, it depends how much you're charging,
you're doing a service to us, at least our industry should do is make you a logo.
Yeah, someone we could put it up on Mid Journey, but I think it's a simple enough logo and name. We could probably find something better.
I think you're good. Other than that, I mean, we were talking. You guys, I don't think really got to explain, but what other features do you think you want to add for the future?
More vendors, definitely. So we've got a whole bunch coming up, hopefully. AS Color is the next one.
Yeah, AS Color is going to be on in early April, and then Staten out of Dallas and Memphis is going to be on late April.
I didn't even think of that. It's not necessarily the distributor, but the, direct from the mill kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think AS Color, I guess when I talked to them, they were just hesitant to go through distributors because they want to keep like the relationship, like they want the selling, but they were comfortable listing on our website to kind of get the word out and make it easier for people to buy from them.
I was going to say, because those ones that are direct only, like they're just kind of being on there to be on there at that point, because it's not like they can get it from anywhere else.
Yeah, exactly. There's no comparison really.
Right.
Dylan, you asked about goals a second ago, and when I was commuting here this morning, I was listening to this thing and it was pretty cool. It was on goals. It recommended to have like short-term goals and long-term goals, and have on the short-term goals, it's like sort of a goal where you're like, hey, it would be pretty cool if we did this, if we got this far, like this is pretty cool. But the longest or the biggest goals are like a hell yeah goal. Like if we did that, hell yeah, that'd be awesome. Like a bigger goal. So like, it got me thinking like with regards to like our shop and everybody shops, and I guess even your software, same sort of thing. Like, you have these goals of like, oh, we're going to add a vendor, but there's also probably like a hell yeah goal if we made it do this or something. You know what I mean?
I think the hell yeah would just be like everyone uses it to order. Like we've solved the problem where it's, far and away the best way to order your blanks. And it's just kind of the go-to, like whenever someone buys a shop like my old boss did and they're getting started in the industry, this is just the go-to. Like you use DGI to handle all your ordering. You connect your vendors there. I don't know. Yeah, we just want to make that like kind of that wedge of like purchasing as easy as possible. We've also found where like at one point in the fall, we were like, all right, this is our 2.5 month roadmap. Like this is the order we're going to do things. Here's all the dependencies. And then a week later, our priorities were like totally changed. So we don't really plan too far in advance, I guess, or at least not too strictly.
Yeah. We just try to listen to what, users say.
You're such a good listener, Dan.
Am I?
I'm just trying to pop you up. I don't know.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well, I guess so. To sum it up, it's free to do. It's DGIapparel.com, correct?
Yep.
And there's no commitments other than you just want to make the world a better place.
Yeah. I'd say the only commitment is try to give us feedback. Like I haven't gotten to the point where my phone is blowing up 24/7. So I'm going to leave my number on the website. We, like Daniel and Grant, haven't worked in the industry. Like we've been in a bunch of shops, we've gone to conferences, and like I've only worked full time at one shop. So the more we hear from people, the better we have an idea of like what matters. I think
you guys better start making plans to visit every trade show and have a booth.
Are you guys going to be at Atlantic City next week or no, this week?
Yeah, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
All right, so I'll see y'all there then. Do you guys have like a booth or anything for Shirt Show, or it's just?
No, we just walk around. We have a seminar that we're doing, but other than that, we'll be around. We'll see you.
Okay. What if you don't mind me asking, how'd you guys get started on Shirt Show? Like I just learned about it like a month or so ago. Like what's the origin story? And
we're creeping up on 4 years now. We were just talking about that the other day, making our 4-year episode. Me and Andy just talked a lot about shops and drama and our lives and everything else. And during COVID, everybody kind of got stir crazy and whatever. And we were deciding that we're like, fuck it. I think a lot of these discussions that we have about business and ourselves and whatever, we could just do with a camera and a microphone. So we started doing it. And then we realized that we can talk about life and shops and all this stuff with our friends and other shops and whatever. And people started to like it and listen to it. So we haven't stopped. We've done every Monday for almost 4 years now.
It's awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
I feel like every group of friends over the pandemic at some point had this thing where we're like, we're so funny and interesting. Like we'll have a podcast. We'll love it.
That makes us want to
Exactly
throw
that.
up, honestly. The problem is that when we started doing it, there was like next to no print podcasts.
Yeah.
There was a couple, but they weren't doing like every week episodes and all this other stuff, and podcasts or whatever. Like we just thought, hey, let's do a podcast. And now it's like everybody and their brother has a podcast. And it's like, like Andy, what did you say to me the other day? It's almost cool to not have a podcast at this point.
Right. The new cool is not having a podcast. Our first episodes we recorded. I recorded mine at my dining room table. I think because we were home and
I was in my office at home and there's like a dog barking in the background.
Yeah. And I would hardly call it a podcast. We like hit record and talked about like stupid shit.
They were like 3 hours long.
It was awful.
Wait, is it going to be 3 hours of us just
we dialed them down now to where we're about an hour and a half an episode, where it's a little more digestible. Funny thing is, we have people that are like, oh, I love the 3 hour ones because I can break it up during the week and I can whatever. And then there's people that are just like, I can't listen to your fucking show anymore. It's way too long. And it's like, all right, well, let's just meet in the middle and say an hour and a half, call it good. So
all right, so we have this segment called Screen Print GPT, and Marcotte came up with. You guys have heard of this apparently. So, do you have a question for it? And if not, you can think of one. We have time.
I want y'all two to come up with one because they don't know the industry as well. So I'm curious what questions they have about like different techniques and stuff.
Yeah, if you don't have one, we're hanging up right now.
No, we'll give them a chance.
How can I organize all of my purchase orders coming from all of my vendors?
Oh,
that's a good one.
That'd be an interesting one.
We'll see if the screen print world has an answer for that, though, because you guys seem to be the only one that created this thing to help with that. So, all
right, Dylan, we have some answers.
Oh God, I forgot. I got
still going. Yeah, we've got to.
Well, usually it does about 7 to 8 things.
Well, while we're waiting, I did want to ask, how do you generate the audio for the Shirt Show intro?
There is a third wheel to Shirt Show that some people know. Chad, he does all the editing and he does the intro and he's our behind the scenes guy. And then we have Christina, who does a ton of stuff too. She met you guys and did the tech checks and all that stuff. So we're a little more organized than people realize. But it helps us do this thing for 4 years and keep everything organized. But yeah, Chad does the intro every time he yells the whole who it's going to be and everything. So it's pretty awesome. All right. So the question was, how can I organize all of my purchase orders coming in from other vendors? Screenprint GPT says, organizing purchase orders coming from your vendors in the screen printing business involves a systematic approach to handle incoming materials, supplies, and equipment efficiently. Here are some strategies tailored to your context that can help streamline this process. 1, digital purchase order system. Dude, there's a lot to read here.
Yeah, you can just say what
invest in a digital purchase order PO system or software that can automate and manage purchase orders from vendors. This system should allow you to create and send purchase orders electronically, track the status of orders, manage vendor information and history, and automate recurring orders for regular supplies. Number 2, centralized vendor database. Create a centralized database for all your vendors, including details like contact information, product lists, pricing, and historical order data. Oh, that's I don't know. I don't want to talk about your business, but that's another cool thing you could do with this too, is just do vendors for ordering supplies.
Yeah, get like Easy Way and PMI tape and those guys on there.
Well, yeah, just like, all these other, Multicraft and all these other things on there, and then you can compare. Let's see. Number 3, inventory management integration. Integrate your purchase order system with your inventory management system. This way you can maintain optimal inventory levels by automating purchase orders and stock falls between predetermined thresholds. Crucial for ensuring you have the necessary materials like mesh counts, emulsions, and inks for your screen printing operations. 4, standardization templates. I'm not going to read through all these. 5, vendor performance tracking. 6, I just tried to scroll down and I can't. Regular audits and reviews. 7, training and policies. 8, effective communication channels. There's a lot to read here. If you want more information, type it in yourself, because my brain hurts from reading all that information. But there's a lot of stuff in there. Again, we learned about you guys from Matt. Matt is a tech nerd. Matt looks into all this stuff, loves the AI stuff, loves tools. He has a couple of his own programs that he's made. Also, he does a lot of stuff with Printavo. So he was a big advocate for this. So you guys should thank Matt. Send him some cookies or something. He likes that kind of thing.
Awesome. I feel like last time I talked to Matt, he was like trying to go on a diet. So I don't know if he wants cookies.
Yeah, he likes doing fucking burpees. He's always up our asses about doing 100 burpees a day or something.
Send him some protein bars. That'll work.
Mm-hmm.
Protein bars is a good one. Yeah.
All right, next we have some over-unders for you. So I have a few things here, and you just let me know if you think they're overrated, properly rated, or underrated. The first one, number 1, Silicon Valley.
Do we need to all agree on it, or
The show or in real life? Because the show is phenomenal.
Shows.
Real life. No, that's real life. The area is, how do you feel about it? And you can do it separately. You don't have to agree on it.
I mean, for me, New York is king.
Good answer. I like Dan. Dan's the man.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. I'm gonna just stop right there.
Good answer. It's a very New York answer.
I'd say I think it's accurately rated, to be honest. For anyone that's trying to start a tech company, like we don't have like a super niche technology, but people that are doing crazy like AI language models or something, like if you need talent, they just happen to live here. It's kind of, cities have network effects. But at the same time, like it's super overpriced. The politics are kind of weird. The taxes are high. The weather's amazing, which is a pro. So I'd say, give and take, I'd say it's accurately rated.
Do you feel like, I feel like the scariest thing for me would that be if you guys were from, say, Midwest or whatever, and you had this thing, it would be like big fish, little pond. Do you feel like there it's more like little fish, big pond, where you're one of a billion other people trying to make it in that area?
Yeah. And I think also because everyone's going after like the $1 trillion, like we're going to compete with Google kind of ideas. And we're just like, I don't know, we just built a tool for screen printing for people to order. So
but I do think that what you're going after in our industry, it's like me and Andy with the Shirt Show. It's like, it's so people outside of the industry are like, oh, you have a podcast? And I'm like, yeah, we have X amount of listeners and whatever. And we have a fun time doing it, but it's so niche market that it's like, our audience is perfect. Like everyone who listens to this is a shop owner or they're working at a shop or whatever. And it's like, you guys made a tool that's so specific to our industry that it's like, there's no reason why everyone in the industry shouldn't at least know that you exist.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So Grant, what's your thoughts on Silicon Valley?
I'd have to agree. I think it's properly rated. Like certain businesses, you really want to be here. But for other reasons, I don't know. If you're outside of the tech industry, I could see how it would be not the best place to live.
Good answer. All I heard was New York was better. Next question.
Yeah.
Next, Dylan's going to love this one. Mulch.
Oh, Jesus.
Mulch, like bark mulch for your garden?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, interesting. Is this any kind of mulch, or is this like the large ones where it's really slivery and splintery, or like the rubber mulch that you put in like the newer playgrounds in cities? Like
I do like those.
I think those are like tires, like shredded.
Yeah,
tires.
it's like shredded tires.
No, I'm talking about like a pine bark, mulch that they would throw down. It just happened over the weekend in my house, and so
you did yard work.
I didn't do it.
No, you fuck. I knew you would. Get out of here.
But there's benefits.
Of course I didn't get my hands dirty.
There's reasons you want to have mulch. And so anyway, I know Dylan loves his mulch. He loves some mulch. So what do you think?
I will say for Daniel, people that don't live in the city, they have yards and they stuff in the garden beds. Yeah. I'm gonna say it's underrated. I can't say enough good things about mulch. Like even just the smell when you get like that fresh pickup truck load of it, it makes gardening easier. The weeds don't grow as quickly in there. So I'm very pro mulch, I would say.
Good man. I think you're the only one.
What would make mulch smell like manure?
There's poop in it.
That's not mulch. Dan, don't step in that mulch.
You got good fertilizer.
I gotta say, I'm a big fan. I love yard work. I do see a lot of people overuse it. Like there are people that do landscaping and there's like a gigantic mound up to a tree, and then you actually like suffocate the tree. You need to like have some roots be available. But I went to Christina's a week ago, and she had just bought this house, whatever, a year ago or something. And I was like, I really want to do your yard work. And she was working, and I was out there, and I scraped back all the old mulch, and I cut in all the grooves, and I cleaned up her yard, and it made the yard look like $1 million with all fresh black mulch to match like the black trim on her house, and it was chef's kiss. So
you do the signature like an artist? I did,
yeah. I took the little in the mulch. I made my signature in it. So if you fly over her house in the helicopter, you'll see my name. No, underrated.
I'm the same, underrated. Number 3, I have something here, but I want to change it to a question on the fly here. And so if you were to go on Shark Tank,
Mm-hmm.
and you got offers from everyone, who do you choose?
Oh, interesting. Because there's also, I'm trying to think who has like expertise in something like this that would be helpful.
It would be Cuban.
I feel like Cuban knows the industry, right? Because he invested in Campus Inc.
Mm-hmm.
Like the natural extension. Mr. Wonderful will just be fun.
He's such a dick.
Who's the Croatian guy?
Richard, maybe?
He has great hair.
Yeah, I think it's Richard.
I don't trust him at all.
You don't trust him? Well, I'm Balkan, and I don't know any of the sharks, so I'll probably go with him.
I've watched a ton of Shark Tank. It's like my go-to for hotel room when I'm out of town is Shark Tank. So, yeah, I think Cuban's always been my favorite. So I would pick Cuban.
I'm absolutely going with Cuban, definitely.
I feel like the rest of them smile through their teeth and they look like somebody who would backstab you. Cuban's just like chill and just like a dude. Like I think he just gets real life.
I wonder what like hanging out with Cuban for like an hour would be like. I feel like he'd be doing 1,000 things, like multitasking, like he has ADD or something. I don't know. It'd be interesting. All right. Well, final question. What's for dinner, guys?
For dinner?
Yeah.
We go to Costco every week. We do most of our cooking.
Did you say Costco? Please tell me you said yes.
Okay. Andy gets a boner over Costco, so anytime it's sad.
So I don't know. It's either chicken breast, ground beef, eggs, rice, or pasta. That's about it.
Dude, why is it every episode lately people are just eating ground beef and fucking rice?
Yeah.
Simple.
It's the workout, if you go to the gym.
But I've never heard of that until now. Like everyone's just ground beef and rice. They're like the go-to.
You know what it is? When you get to Costco, you find that a lot of the packages are slightly open. Ground beef is never opened,
It's that damn Costco.
We just get more of the ground beef.
Okay. All right.
I just heard the rotisserie chicken is moving to bags, like not the whatever, plastic container. Plastic bag still, I think, but they're moving to bags. I follow Costco on Reddit. I'm in the subreddit.
Leaks, no? Like there's like the fatty juice and stuff that would fall out in the trunk.
Nope. No.
That's what she said?
I don't know what situation she was in, but I was gonna say Haagen-Dazs. changed their like container in the last couple of years.
To a plastic bag?
No. I'm sorry, the artwork on the container.
Yeah.
It made me want to buy it less. So I wonder,
Well, does Costco have just Kirkland brand everything? Like like literally you have an option to buy Kirkland for just about everything.
A lot of stuff.
Do you guys listen to the Acquired podcast at all?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like these two guys that are like early stage venture capitalists, but they do like business playbooks. So like the last one was like Hermes, which is like luxury, but they've also done like Costco and Amazon and all these companies. But the Costco one's super crazy. It's really good. And I think it's like they only make 14% margins on anything that they sell. They keep it really cheap and just make money off the membership. So makes me feel more confident as a consumer that I'm getting the best deal, I guess.
That does make sense. I'm not a Costco guy. I'm a Sam's Club guy because I don't have Costco. But every time I go, I don't go to the counter anymore. Now I do the scan and go. But anytime I would pay at the counter, they'd be like, oh, you want to get the premium membership. You need to do this, or you save this much more money. Like every time it was sell for more like premium membership.
Yeah, that's where all their profits are, is those memberships.
No. I was going to ask though, how long is that podcast episode?
Oh yeah, Acquired is super long. So like they're about 3 to 4 hours. They'll be like, all right, let's start wrapping this up. And then I look and pause it. There's like an hour left on the podcast. So
it's danger zone.
Exactly. And enter at your own risk.
Mm-hmm. Well, we really appreciate you guys doing this with us. I really do hope you guys take off and a lot of people at least check your stuff out. To people listening, I would recommend checking it out for sure and emailing them directly and blasting his personal cell phone number that's on the website.
Yeah, and for us, like when I showed it to our shipping and receiving manager, she was like, wow. She couldn't believe how easy it was to use, how fast actually when we just logged in and got it on our computer. She's using it already. She's using it now. And so thank you for building this for us and for our industry and everything else. So good job, man. Especially you, Daniel.
Thanks, Dan.
No, but thank you guys really for having us on. This is a really cool opportunity, but it's also really big one. So
yeah. Like I said, we're big advocates for anything that we can do to, we try to talk to people about products that we really do believe in. So it's not like we just have anybody and everybody on with this kind of thing. So we both thought it was really cool. So we wanted to have you guys on.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys in Atlantic City next week too.
Yep. Hell yeah, dude. We'll see you later, guys.